Greetings and welcome. We find ourselves today confronted with a manifestation of human behavior that, while seemingly pervasive, often remains shrouded in shadow: workplace bullying. It is a phenomenon that gnaws at the very fabric of our social structures, particularly within the domains of professional endeavor. We must ask ourselves, what are the underlying forces that drive such destructive interactions? And, perhaps more importantly, what can we do to rectify them? Now, when we speak of workplace bullying, we're not merely addressing isolated instances of rudeness or disagreement. We're talking about a sustained pattern of hostile behavior, a systematic campaign often designed to undermine an individual's sense of worth, their competence, their very capacity to exist within their professional domain. This can manifest in a multitude of ways: verbal assaults, the insidious spread of rumors, the deliberate exclusion, the sabotage of work, and the relentless, often subtle, erosion of one's professional standing. To understand this, we must delve into the psychological landscape. Human beings, we are hierarchical creatures. We establish hierarchies wherever we congregate. And within those hierarchies, there are those who seek to ascend, and those who, perhaps out of fear, or perhaps out of a more malevolent impulse, seek to diminish others. This impulse, this shadow, if you will, is not easily dismissed. It resides within us all to varying degrees. One must consider the role of responsibility, the abdication of responsibility, both by the perpetrator and, crucially, by those who witness the bullying and remain silent. The bystander effect, as it's known, is a powerful force. The fear of reprisal, the desire to maintain one's own position within the hierarchy, these factors contribute to a culture of complicity. And that culture, that silence, it allows the bully to thrive. And what of the victims? They often internalize the abuse, questioning their own competence, their own sanity. This can lead to profound psychological distress, anxiety, depression, even post-traumatic stress. The damage is not merely professional, it is existential. Now, what can be done? Firstly, we must articulate the problem. We must bring it into the light. Silence is the bully's greatest ally. We must establish clear, robust policies against bullying, and we must enforce them. This is not a matter of political correctness. It is a matter of basic human decency. Secondly, we must cultivate a culture of responsibility. Individuals must be empowered to speak out, to report instances of bullying without fear of reprisal, and those in positions of authority must take those reports seriously. They must act. They must restore order. Thirdly, individuals must strengthen themselves. They must cultivate a sense of self-worth that is not dependent on the opinions of others. They must learn to articulate their boundaries, to say no, to stand their ground. This is not easy. It requires courage, but it is essential. And finally, we must recognize that this is not merely an individual problem. It is a societal problem. It reflects a deeper malaise, a lack of respect for the dignity of the individual. We must strive to create a society where such behavior is not tolerated, where individuals are valued for their contributions, not diminished for their perceived weaknesses. This is a difficult task. It requires vigilance and it requires courage, but it is a task that we cannot afford to shirk. For the sake of our own humanity, we must confront this shadow and we must bring it into the light.